What if a single key could grant your deepest desires, but at a cost too terrifying to imagine? Stay tuned for the chilling tale of the wishing key, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a story that'll keep you up at night. 12-year-old Emma was spending the summer at her grandparents' old farmhouse while her parents traveled abroad. The house, weathered and creaking with age, had always fascinated her. It stood on the edge of a vast forest, its edges shadowed and dense. Her grandparents, kind, gentle souls, warned her not to wander into the woods, but Emma's curiosity was hard to tame. One rainy afternoon, while exploring the attic, Emma stumbled upon an antique trunk hidden beneath a tattered quilt. Inside, she found an assortment of trinkets, faded photographs, a broken pocket watch, and a small, intricately carved key. The key gleamed unnaturally in the dim light, its surface etched with symbols Emma didn't recognize. "What's this?" she wondered aloud, holding it up. "Oh, that?" her grandfather said, startling her as he climbed up the attic stairs. "That's just an old family keepsake. Don't pay it any mind." But Emma's curiosity flared. She felt a strange warmth radiating from the key as though it were alive. That night, as thunder rumbled outside her bedroom window, she held the key tightly in her hand. When she drifted off to sleep, she dreamed vividly of a door, a tall, ornate door standing in the middle of the forest, glowing faintly in the moonlight. The next morning, Emma couldn't shake the dream. Her grandfather's warning echoed in her mind, but she couldn't resist the urge to explore. Armed with the key, she ventured into the forest, weaving between the towering oaks and whispering pines. The deeper she went, the quieter the world became, as if the forest itself were holding its breath. And then she saw it, the door from her dream. It was even more magnificent in person, with swirling carvings that seemed to shimmer when she moved. The key in her pocket vibrated faintly, growing warmer as she approached. Emma hesitated, her instincts urging her to turn back, but the pull of the door was too strong. With trembling hands, she inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a swirling darkness beyond. A cold wind rushed out, carrying with it a voice that whispered her name. The voice was soft at first, like leaves rustling in a breeze, but it grew louder, echoing in Emma's ears. "Emma, you are chosen." "Chosen for what?" she whispered, her voice quivering. The darkness beyond the door rippled, and out of it stepped a figure. It was cloaked in shadow, its face obscured, but its eyes glowed an eerie blue. The figure raised a long, thin hand and pointed at her. "You hold the wishing key," it said, its voice neither male nor female, but something ancient and resonant. "3 wishes I offer. But beware, child. Each wish comes with a price." Emma's heart pounded. She wanted to run, to slam the door shut, and forget she had ever found the key. But the figure's presence was mesmerizing, its voice like a lullaby she couldn't ignore. What kind of wishes?" she asked. "Anything your heart desires," the figure replied, "but choose wisely, for the door, it hungers." "Hungers?" Emma echoed, but the figure didn't elaborate. Against her better judgment, Emma made her first wish. She thought of her parents, whom she missed dearly. "I wish my parents would come home early," she said. The figure nodded. "It shall be so." The door's carvings glowed brightly, and Emma felt a sharp pain in her chest, as though something had been taken from her. The figure stepped back into the darkness, and the door swung shut. When she turned around, the forest was as it had been, the strange door gone without a trace. Emma returned home to find her grandparents in a panic. "Emma, we just got a call," her grandmother cried. "Your parents are coming home tonight. Their trip was cut short." Emma felt a swell of relief, but it was short-lived. That night, her father returned with a limp he hadn't had before, the result of a car accident on their way to the airport. Her mother seemed distant, her eyes shadowed as though haunted by something she couldn't explain. Guilt gnawed at Emma. Had her wish caused this? Despite her unease, the key continued to tempt her. Days passed, and the figure's words echoed in her mind. Anything your heart desires. Finally, Emma gave in to the urge. This time she wished for something selfish. I wish I could be the smartest person in the world, she said to the key one night. The door appeared again, and the figure emerged, nodding solemnly as it granted her wish. Immediately, Emma's mind flooded with knowledge. She could solve complex equations effortlessly, recite entire books from memory, and understand languages she'd never studied. But the gift came with a curse. Her newfound intelligence isolated her. Her friends grew jealous, her teachers suspicious. Worse, she began to hear voices in her head, whispers of dark truths about the world that she couldn't unlearn. Sleep became impossible. Emma's third wish came out of desperation. She couldn't live with the burden of her second wish, and she longed for the innocence she had lost. Clutching the key, she ventured into the forest once more, seeking the door. When it appeared, she didn't hesitate. "Take it back," she pleaded to the figure. "I want to be normal again." The figure's glowing eyes fixed on her. "That is your final wish?" "Yes," Emma whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Please." The figure tilted its head as though considering her request. Finally, it nodded. "It shall be done, but the door must be fed." Before Emma could ask what that meant, the figure disappeared. The carvings on the door flared brightly, and Emma felt a searing pain in her chest. When she awoke, she was lying on the forest floor, the key gone. She returned to the farmhouse, feeling lighter, freer. Her parents and grandparents greeted her warmly, and for the first time in weeks she felt truly happy. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. The shadows in the house seemed darker, longer. Whispers filled the air at night, and Emma's dreams were plagued by the sound of the door creaking open. One night, she awoke to find her bedroom door ajar. Standing in the hallway was the figure, its glowing eyes piercing the darkness. "You made your wishes," it said softly. "Now the door will take what it is owed." Emma screamed as the figure advanced, its shadowy form stretching and twisting. The house seemed to collapse around her, the walls closing in as the whispers grew deafening. When her grandparents burst into the room, they found it empty. Emma was gone, the window open, and the wind carrying her name into the night. The forest beyond the farmhouse stood silent, its trees swaying gently, as though mourning. In the attic, the antique trunk remained, empty save for a faint glow that lingered where the key had once been.